to drive positive change in his neighborhood. Brandon Thompson digging deeper into the safety concerns. I know you spoke to Rinella today from his hospital bed, Brandon. This is just breaks your heart. He's such a community leader.
And Rinella tells me that he will continue to do that work once he is fully healed. Now, there was surveillance video that staff showed me of this attack. They do not want that video broadcast, but what I saw was a gruesome attack that took place Sunday morning. David was actually in his office when he saw someone trying to use her hand to break the glass on the back of his car that was parked just outside of the warehouse on Southeast 3rd. David grabbed a bat to confront this woman. Now, the woman took the bat from him and beat Rinella several times. 63-year-old David says he has 5 broken ribs, a hurt shoulder blade, and a punctured lung from the attack, and is in the hospital right now. The video also shows 2 people riding on bikes, one of them pointing a gun at David. A police officer happened to be driving by when this happened and saw the attack. David thinks that without that police officer showing up, that is the only reason he is alive to tell this story today. We spoke to him on the phone while he's in the hospital. He also shared a message on social media to the people he wanted to let know he's okay.
Anyway, I love all of you and thank you so much for your prayers. God bless all of you.
I was trying to get up. I was actually praying, the Lord, give me the strength to get up and get out of there. But every time I was able to get up to my knees, she banged at me again. Then that policeman showed out of nowhere.
David wants people to be vigilant and call 911 if something like this happens. The woman who attacked David was taken into custody. Employees say police did locate the man who was waving the gun, though we are still waiting official word on that from the Portland Police Bureau. Now, this comes as the city of Portland implemented a 90-day reset plan in that neighborhood earlier this year. Tonight at 5, we talk to the Central Eastside Industrial Council about how this attack impacts that progress. Live in Southeast Portland, Brandon Thompson, Point 6 News.
So disheartening. You just hate to see something like that happen. All right, Brandon, thank you. Now, coming up, thieves target Teslas in Portland, how police are working to take them down.
And former President Donald Trump spends the day in a Manhattan courtroom, what he's saying about the civil fraud trial against him.
Plus, after nearly 2 decades, concerts are returning to Providence Park. We're live to explain what it means for the city. Well, former President Donald Trump appeared in a New York courtroom today to defend his company's business practices. Now, the civil suit accuses him and his company of fraud. A New York Attorney General Letitia James brought this case against Trump, accusing him, his sons, and the Trump Organization of inflating the value of properties by hundreds of millions of dollars while pursuing favorable bank loans.
We have a clause in the contract. It's like a buyer beware clause. It says when you take a look at the financial statement, don't believe anything you read. This is up front.
No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law.
Now, prosecutors are seeking a ban on Trump doing business in New York and $250 million in penalties. Trump calls the lawsuit yet another attempt at election interference.
Well, new at 4, Portland police arrest 2 suspects of attempted carjacking. And this was yesterday in the Buckman neighborhood near Southeast 3rd in Washington. Police say they found a man lying on the ground surrounded by 2 people who were armed. The victim was hurt, but is expected to be okay. Portland police say 49-year-old Delray Penny and 31-year-old Claudia Atkinson were taken into custody. And how about this? Portland police say they busted a theft ring targeting Tesla electric vehicles over the weekend. They partnered with the Multnomah County District Attorney for this operation. The team recovered 4 Teslas just Saturday night. They arrested 2 people. They say a key safety feature of the vehicles, the GPS devices, disabled in these thefts.
Those are pricey cars, too. Okay, well, for the first time in nearly 20 years, concerts coming back to Providence Park, and a Grammy-winning rock band slated to headline the first show next summer.
Yeah. Jamie Seymour live at Providence Park, going beyond the headlines with a look at why they're starting to bring concerts back to this popular venue. In my day, I remember going to a few concerts there back in the day.
Yeah, Jeff, Jenny, for those who are not able to, just imagine this. Rather than a game going on the field, imagine a big stage up there with the entire soccer pitch filled with seats. In a year's time, that'll be the future here at Providence Park. Now, in recent years, Portland has missed out on some of those big stadium shows because we just didn't have the space or capacity to do those. And big acts skipping over us to go to the likes of like Seattle or the Bay Area. Now, the multi-year announcement today will bring concerts back to Providence Park for the first time since 2005. The selling capacity is set for around 30,000 tickets and seats, nearly double the next biggest venue here in Portland, Moda Center. This comes as the venue saw more than $130 million in renovations in recent years, privately funded by the Timbers. The Timbers and Thorns CEO Heather Davis says it's a long time coming.
So it's something that we've been wanting to do since the East Side expansion opened. Obviously, COVID and other things stood in the way of that for a while, but this came together this year, really, and we're really excited to be able to launch that with such an iconic rock music act.
General admission and reserved seating will be available on the park's pitch with the stage in the south end of the stadium. Some of the final renovations on that end of the park are planned for the off-season. Now, as for the first headliner taking the stage, you can catch rock icons the Foo Fighters on August 16th of 2024. Tickets will go on sale this Friday starting at 10 a.m. And for all of you Thorns and Timbers season ticket holders out there, you'll get first dibs starting Thursday. Now, the Foo Fighters are also in really great company right now. The first ever concert that was performed here in the stadium was in 1957, with more than 14,000 people catching none other than Elvis Presley. Now, other legends to come through this stadium include David Bowie, as well as Johnny Cash. And the CEO says there are some other really big headlining acts in the works for Providence Park, but they can't say who just yet. So we'll be ready to get our tickets starting later this week. Reporting live from Providence Park, Jamie Seymour, KOIN 6 News.
Yeah, and a lot more comfortable for concerts like that with all those improvements they made since 2005. Yeah, we'll see how all this develops. Jamie, thank you.
Got my pre-sale codes all ready for tomorrow. Okay, now to a live look outside in Portland. Jeff, it's your birthday today, and the weather is perfect. Just looking at that.
Yeah, here we had sunny weather, a great sunny weekend. It touched my birthday hit, and this is the kind of weather we get. I don't mind it because you say things are going to straighten out.
That's right. Yeah, the weather is going to behave appropriately. So by the time we get to the end of the week, Jeff, maybe you can celebrate your birthday one more day.
I'll do that with you guys. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'll be nice. You know, temperatures are going to make a big 20-degree jump as we move forward. So this gloomy weather and damp weather that we have right now, it's all a thing of the past by the time we get to the end of the week. After we get through some of that rain tonight, early tomorrow morning, you could run into some foggy conditions. To go from temperatures today that only maxed out at 60 degrees, by the time we hit this Thursday and Friday, we're in the 80s and a lot more sunshine happening for this week rather than rain like this. A live look from the top of the Coin Tower or Subaru camera, temperature of just 58 degrees. Wind is out of the southeast right now at about 8 miles per hour, so just a little bit of a breeze out there can make it feel extra cold. So all about layering up and putting on that rainproof gear out there tonight. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s. The amount of rain that we've had so far, notice very little towards the south end of this of the valley, just a few hundredths of an inch. You get right around Portland and Kelso, a little bit more than a tenth of an inch. Astoria, the winner there at 0.6 of an inch of rain so far. As we look at radar over the last couple of hours, you can see most of that rain coming right in from the west northwest and then spreading across the western half of the state. Also central and eastern Oregon getting a chance to see some of those raindrops too. When the rain wraps up, it'll be just cool enough, perfect ingredients for some fog development as we get to those early morning hours. So if your morning commute starts at, let's say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just be prepared. You could have visibility down to about 2 miles or so. In some pockets, perhaps less than a quarter of a mile. So watch for that tomorrow morning. Here's the rest of your planner for tomorrow with our temperatures. After some areas of fog, 6 o'clock in the morning, upper 50s. We get to the middle of the day, we're still mostly cloudy, not much happening for sunshine, 62 degrees. We get to the late afternoon. Now we're starting to see the sun come out right around about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, getting up to about 67, maybe 68. So certainly will feel and look a lot better than it is so far today. The amount of rain that we could collect tonight through early tomorrow morning could be close to about 1/4 of an inch or less for the valley. Out towards the coast, though, you could be seeing something closer to about 3/4 of an inch. Looking at that future cast, again, there's your rain sticking around tonight through about 10 o'clock. By tomorrow, it's all about clouds in the morning, some clouds in the afternoon starting to break up. Nice and clear going into Wednesday and again Thursday and again Friday. Things are going to be warming up too into the 80s by the time we get to the end of the week. In the meantime, looking at your temperatures for tomorrow along the coast, low 60s, mostly cloudy, upper 60s for us, Portland and Salem. In the Gorge, mid-60s, a little more sunshine for you out towards Hood River with a high of 66. The Dalles, you're looking good tomorrow, 70 degrees. Temperatures in the upper 50s for you. Government Camp Madras, upper 60s. And eastern Oregon on the cloudy side, upper 60s expected. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. So tomorrow will be one of our coolest days for the next 7. Look at what happens as soon as we get to Wednesday. We're up to 71. And then up to the low 80s Thursday and Friday. And I'm looking closely at what the records are for this time in October. And there's at least one day this week where we could get close to a record high temperature. I'll tell you more about that coming up in the second half of our newscast.
Okay, well, and notice next Monday, also rainy. So
Yes.
it's like,
Monday.
yeah, case of the Mondays
Yeah.
right there. Okay.
Well, coming up, we're getting you ready for the highly anticipated Fat Bear Week. We'll tell you about that.
And firefighters get a spooky surprise when responding to a call.
Also, we're heading live to Washington, D.C. to find out why the House Speaker is facing opposition now from within his own party. Well, after narrowly finding a way to avoid a government shutdown this week, Speaker Kevin McCarthy facing now a renewed effort from within his own Republican Party to kick him out of his leadership position.
Yeah, those hardline Republicans did not like how McCarthy teamed up with Democrats to avoid the shutdown. Anna Warnicki going beyond the headlines, joining us live from Washington, D.C. Anna.
Good evening. Well, Florida Republican Matt Gaetz just moments ago filed this motion tonight to force a vote on whether McCarthy will keep his job.
Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz says he's keeping his word to try to strip House Speaker Kevin McCarthy of his leadership title.
It is becoming increasingly clear who the Speaker of the House already works for, and it's not the Republican conference.
Gaetz says McCarthy relied on Democrats to pass a short-term spending bill, a move he says breached the agreement McCarthy made to become Speaker of the House.
We need someone who can connect the most conservative features of our conference to the most moderate features of our conference.
But in order to oust McCarthy, Gaetz will need the votes of Republicans and Democrats. On Monday, many House Republicans, including California Congressman Tom McClintock, said removing McCarthy doesn't make sense.
The immediate effect will be to paralyze the House indefinitely because no other business can be taken up until a replacement is elected.
We have some people who are playing with fire.
Oregon Democrat Earl Blumenauer agrees the focus needs to be on funding the government.
Whether or not Kevin McCarthy is Speaker or not is largely irrelevant in terms of this larger issue.
For his part, McCarthy told CBS Face the Nation that he's not letting the drama get in the way of his job.
Bring it on, let's get over with it, and let's start governing.
The House now has 2 legislative days to vote on the motion to vacate. For now, live in Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki. Back to you.
Yeah, so Anna, Gaetz has made it clear he doesn't want McCarthy to be the speaker. Did he say who he wants to take his place?
Well, Gaetz was asked this today, and he says it's too soon to start talking specific names, but he did say that he himself does not plan to run for speaker. He did say that there are a number of members of Congress right now that he believes are capable of holding the speaker's gavel. And he also very much stressed that he isn't backing down. He says if this vote fails, he will plan to bring it back up again.
Okay, Anna, thank you. So we'll follow this closely and see how it all turns out.
California launching a first-of-its-kind program to help people with severe mental illness who need treatment, medication, therapy, and a place to live. California's first mental health reform in more than half a century takes effect today in 7 counties, including in San Francisco. The Community Assistance and Recovery Empowerment, or CARE Court, is designed to fast-track assistance for medical care and housing for those over 18 with untreated severe psychotic disorders like schizophrenia. Governor Gavin Newsom created the new civil court process as a way to help address the homeless crisis in California.
It means preventing individuals from becoming homeless while suffering from severe mental illness. It means less people receiving their treatment or services in jail, which are now acting as our de facto mental health services. And it also means less people under conservatorship. But most of all, and what's most important to me, this means hope.
That program is voluntary, meaning those in CARE Court have the option to refuse assistance.
Well, the findings of a new study from the USDA may or may not surprise or shock you. Michael George shows us how most people fail to properly wash their hands when prepping and cooking.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but a new study shows Americans need a lesson on how to safely prepare it.
We found some pretty shocking trends.
Researchers at the USDA observed participants in a test kitchen preparing breakfast foods. Hand washing before, during, and after preparing a meal is essential to prevent the spread of bacteria. Yet 96% failed to properly wash their hands.
87% of people that participated in the study said that they washed their hands before meal preparation, but when we actually looked at what they did, only about 44% of people did.
Meredith Carruthers from the USDA shows us how it's done. Wet hands with water, lather with soap. Scrub hands for at least 20 seconds, rinse hands with water, and dry hands using a clean towel. The survey shows cross-contamination is more prevalent in the kitchen than we realize. About 1 in 6 people in the U.S. get sick from foodborne illnesses each year. Eggs are a breakfast staple but can have bacteria that cause illness. Nearly half of the participants did not attempt to wash their hands after cracking eggs. And another food safety misstep, 92% failed to insert a food thermometer correctly in a sausage patty.
We are seeing good rates of people using a food thermometer, which is definitely improving from previous studies that we've done. But if you don't use it properly, you still might not actually tell if something's fully reached that safe internal temperature.
And make sure you insert the thermometer to the center of the raw sausage patty through the side to get the most accurate reading. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
I've been washing my hands wrong all these years. I just learned. Me too. The Oregon Health and Science University Vision Screening for Head Start programs is turning 20 years old. Founding director Joanna Vaughn says the program with KCI Institute is critical to fulfill a requirement for all children to be screened before starting school. Back in 2003, they only saw about 200 kids. Now they screen 8,000 3 to 5-year-olds each year. The screening only takes 1 second, and it can change a child's life.
It's a very important, easy intervention in a child's life. A lot of parents think, oh, a 3-year-old's too young for glasses, but this is absolutely the best time to get a child in glasses because this is when they're learning to read. This is when they're interacting with other kids socially. So much development is going on right now at this age that they need to have their vision for. So.
15% of the kids screened end up needing glasses.
Apple says it's now working on a system update after owners have complained about the new iPhone 15. They say at times it's too hot to handle. The company is blaming software bugs for the overheating issue. So far, no time frame has been given for the fixes, though Apple says the phone is safe to use.
This is not good news. Girl Scout cookies about to take a larger bite out of your wallet. The price per box is increasing to $6. That's up from $5 last year in select parts of the U.S. The organization says the move is because of inflation's impact on the cost of ingredients and other aspects of cookie making.
For the first time in the game's history, the Powerball prize has topped $1 billion. After no winning ticket was sold for Saturday's drawing tonight, players can get another shot at the just over $1 billion top prize.
Okay, check this out. Fire crews responded to reports of a house fire. Look at that. Only to find an elaborate Halloween display instead. This is video from the homeowner in Glens Falls, New York. The fire department says, to our surprise, this was an amazing Halloween decoration. Fire department says the homeowner used 2 LED lights, a box fan, and a fog machine for that display.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they need a sign that says not a real fire or something,
No,
right?
I mean, that looks so realistic.
Yes.
I could see where everyone was faked out by that.
Yeah, maybe it gives you some inspiration. I know you guys get really into it.
Oh, we did our little Halloween decoration outside. My wife always insists on that. I said, I'm too old to put those up now, but I did it.
You did turn another year older today,
Yeah,
so yes.
and it looks pretty good, I
Yeah,
gotta say.
yeah.
All eyes were on Taylor Swift last night's football game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets. So Swift was seen walking into MetLife Stadium in New York there with actors Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman. So Swift's appearance comes a week after she was at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. So she is currently on a break from her big tour, which resumes next month down in Argentina. So, yeah, there was a lot of Swift action going up there.
Oh.
The NFL, I mean, the NFL camp, if you watch that game, they kept going to that booth where she was at. They kept
I did not think they went to her enough.
You really?
Well, because
Okay.
I asked my husband yesterday, I said, what time is the Chiefs-Jets game? And he looks at me and he goes, not you too.
Yeah.
So first NFL game I think I've watched from start to finish.
I actually think it's kind of exciting for
Yes.
the NFL to have
Yeah.
that, so I don't think that's bad.
I agree,
Yeah.
yes. Hey, today you can start filling out your bracket for Fat Bear Week. So this returns this Wednesday to Alaska's Katmai National Park and Preserve. The brown bears have spent the summer fattening up to survive winter hibernation and to be contenders for the title of Fat Bear Week 2023 champion. Now, these are some pictures of last year's winner. Well, now the park needs your help to crown the fattest bear of 2023. You can cast your votes October 4th through October 10th.
Now, don't they have like you can see it on a live webcam or something where they come in? It's always, isn't it some bear that usually always wins? It's some big fat bear that
I think is called like Fatty or something.
Yeah. It's called Fatty. And he comes,
something like that, I think. Yeah.
No, anyway, it's fun to watch that webcam.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you're not involved in betting. Hey, still ahead, TripAdvisor says one local restaurant is one of the best casual dining spots in the entire country. But first,
Stephen Colbert is back on television for his first live show in 5 months. I'm Allie Bauman with eager fans from the Ed Sullivan Theater.
And there's a plan afoot to take over ownership of a portion of Ross Island, what it would mean for the public.
And words of advice from financial experts: don't wait to figure out how you budget for federal student loans now that they're back after 3 years. What to do now if you can't afford to make those payments.
Well, this is some good news. Hollywood writers back on the job, and that means laughter is returning to late night TV.
Yeah, Allie Bauman caught up with Stephen Colbert fans outside the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York.
We're back on Monday with a new monologue. Anything happened in the last 5 months?
Stephen Colbert is back at the desk after a 5-month-long writer's strike that dimmed the lights at the Ed Sullivan Theater.
He's brilliant, he's funny, and we've missed him a lot.
A giddy Colbert posted this video from the set last week.
We just had our first all-staff meeting, and we are ready to go on Monday with an all-new Late Show.
Colbert and the other late-night talk show hosts will surely address the strike in their monologues Monday night, just as they voiced their support when scribes walked off the job back in May.
These are our writers, and I'll stick myself in there because I'm WGA too, and they're so important to our show.
Last Week Tonight with John Oliver returned to HBO on Sunday, and the comedian quickly aired his thoughts on the job action.
While I'm happy that they eventually got a fair deal and immensely proud of what our union accomplished, I'm also furious that it took the studios 148 days to achieve a deal that they could have offered on day one.
Here at the Ed Sullivan Theater, fans lined up to see Colbert in person for his first show back.
As soon as I heard the writer's strike was over, I was checking for tickets.
You have to be a part of the audience. You have to feel that energy. It's a one-of-a-kind experience, for sure.
The ongoing actors' strike limits guests on the late-night circuit. Actors are not allowed to appear and promote movies and shows if they are for studios at the center of that dispute.
What is a Kelsey, and where can I find one?
But fans and Colbert himself are delighted to laugh together again. Allie Bauman, CBS News, New York.
Okay, so that explains Colbert's guest tonight. It includes astrophysicist and author Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's always a great guest, and you can catch the show at 11:35 p.m. right on Coin 6 here and live on demand on Paramount. So that'll be great to have entertainment back for late night.
I have missed it, yes.
Me too.
Coming up, it was just named one of the top everyday eats in the country. See the restaurant that TripAdvisor says is a must when you're on the Oregon coast.
Ooh, looking forward to that. And caught on camera, deputies helped save an elk who got tangled up in this rope swing. Natasha?
Oh my goodness. Looking at tonight, we are going to see more of those damp conditions, a little bit of fog by tomorrow morning, and then a big warm up for us by the end of the week. Details on just how hot it will get coming up.
Easy, buddy. Easy. It's okay.
Well, caught on camera, deputies in Washington State rescued a young elk who got his antlers stuck in the rope of a tree swing. This happened last month in Pierce County. It took deputies multiple attempts to cut the rope and avoid getting hit. Eventually, they were able to free him.
A plan to bring grizzly bears back to Washington's North Cascades is now in the works. You know, grizzlies have not been seen in that area since 1996. The National Park Service and U.S. Fish and Wildlife are now weighing their options for bringing them back. Both departments are looking for the public's feedback on all this.
And today we are getting parents ready for a bargain hunt. With the rainy season here, a big consignment sale this week can help families save money on a new wardrobe.
So Cor Harlan went to the old Kmart in Gresham this morning to explore what you can find at the Super Kids resale.
This resale that they're having, it starts Thursday through Sunday. This is Susan Van Dyke, by the way, the woman that organizes all of this. This is really a cool way to save some money on some stuff that your kids are going to use. And because kids are always growing, Emily points out, they don't use stuff very hard, and it's still pretty new when they stop using it. So you just kind of recycle and keep going. I mean, I had a pair of soccer shoes for our kids that 3 or 4 owners had them before they really ran out of gas, right?
That's true.
That's the same way with a lot of stuff.
Right. Shoes and clothes and baby equipment for sure. Strollers can last a couple.
700 consigners,
right? Yes,
right?
yeah.
From as far all over the Northwest. We just picked a few of the, kind of cherry picked out some of the great stuff that you can find out here. The first thing that pops into my mind, I love these. These are Sorel little kid boots, all right? Those
and
are little.
Brand new.
Brand new little, look at the little Sorel labels on there. So you want to do a little bit of labeling of your kid there. Those things are just, they're a fraction of what you'd pay for new of those. What else you got here?
We got Christmas pajamas and snow suits. We have
so nice
hundreds of feet of
and those
coats.
those look like they've never probably been used, right?
Or one time to the snow,
once.
right?
Yeah, maybe.
So $15, so that's Columbia, so it's probably a...
My personal favorite is this puffy jacket right there. Now that's for a little one, and that is, I mean, again, if it's been used not very much, because it just feels so cool. And then
we have
Frozen.
Costumes
Oh my gosh,
Halloween.
Frozen is enduring, isn't it? Frozen never goes away.
Right, and then we've got even boutique brands. This is Rags, that's super popular right now.
That's a way to buy kids' clothes.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Hey, looking ahead, the mayor of St. Helens excited to invite you to the Spirit of Halloween Town this month. So each year, the city celebrates the filming of the Disney Channel original movie Halloween Town, and this year marks 25 years since it first hit television screens. Mayor Rick Scholl says they will continue this year's celebration with a parade this weekend, and there's more to come.
Haunted houses to trolley rides to even we actually own an island. We have a park on an island that has a ferry boat that takes people over for a little fairy tale island over there.
Halloween Town was recently named one of the best Halloween events in the U.S. According to Trips to Discover, it is a must-go-to event for people who love all things spooky. You can find a link to the full schedule on coin.com.
Well, now something positively Portland. The Rose City is coming in at #2 when it comes to top foodie cities in the U.S. The Wallet Hub study looked at 180 cities in the U.S. and compared the number of restaurants, the price of beer and wine, and the average cost of groceries, then ranked them accordingly. Orlando, Florida beat Portland, but just by a slim margin, and Seattle came in at #10, quite a few spots down from Portland.
Yeah, well, there you go. Take that, Seattle.
Yeah.
Hey, a restaurant on the Oregon coast has been named one of the best for casual dining. Georgie's in Newport, one of TripAdvisor's picks for the 2023 Traveler's Choice Award in the Everyday Eats category. It is defined as a laid-back fare that goes above and beyond without breaking the bank. The restaurant snagged the #16 spot in the top 25. It also offers wall-to-wall oceanfront views, so a nice location.
Beautiful, and so does the food there. Natasha, over in the Weather Center right now. So on this Monday, dreary, kind of wet, but Natasha says, don't worry, things will be straightening out here pretty soon.
Yes, by tomorrow, I think everybody's going to really enjoy the rest of the week as we get into some warmer temperatures. In fact, by the end of the week, we'll be seeing about a 20-degree jump. Right now, of course, we're all about raindrops and visibility. Not amazing, kind of a gray day out there. 58 degrees right now. Temperatures tonight will be in the upper 50s. That number doesn't change too much, but a little bit of wind makes it feel extra chilly, so bundle up as you head outside. Wind is out of the southeast right now at about 8 miles per hour. Heading now to Tualatin Valley, you can see some low-lying clouds kind of hugging the valley right there. And we'll see more of that tonight through tomorrow morning as rain eventually does come to an end late this evening. We go from the 60s to the 80s in a matter of just a few days, so there is promises of more sunshine out there for the rest of the week. Today's highs, we only got up to 61. Normal high for this time of year is 71, so 10 degrees below normal today. Temperatures out towards Pendleton, we're up to about 70 today. The amount of rain that we've seen so far, a little bit more than a tenth of an inch for the valley, but then you go out to the coast, we're looking at more than a half inch of rain from Tillamook up to Astoria. Nice to see that. Troutdale also coming in on the action, a little bit more than a tenth of an inch so far today. So on radar right now, we still see some of that rain right around Portland, up through Vancouver and Clark County, out towards the coast, and also hugging the foothills right now, heading into the Cascades and even out towards the Dalles. Your planner for tomorrow, we expect to wake up to mostly cloudy skies, areas of fog possible, middle of the day cloudy, temperature of 62. By the afternoon, we finally see the sunshine pop out with temperature of about 67. Forecast rainfall totals overnight tonight through early tomorrow morning. We could, in some places in the valley, pick up anywhere from a tenth of an inch to a little bit closer to 2/10 of an inch at the coast, though perhaps something closer to about 3/4 of an inch. Looking at your 7-day rain chance, notice these bars right here representing every single day so we get through the entire week. No chance of rain until we pop into Sunday night going into Monday of next week. So nice to see those breaks. Here's what it looks like on Futurecast. Rain still tonight through about 11 o'clock. It all falls apart, and then eventually we get into tomorrow, mostly dry day. Areas of fog possible, though, in the morning. Wednesday's all clear for you all day long through Thursday and Friday. Even Saturday going into Sunday until we get into Sunday night going into Monday morning. In the meantime, enjoying that dry weather for you tomorrow at the coast with a temperature of 62. Portland and Salem, you'll be in the upper 60s, so a little bit closer to normal. And Hood River, mostly sunny, temperature of 66. The Dalles tomorrow, you're up to 70 degrees. Central Oregon temperatures will be in the 60s. Pendleton, upper 60s. And Baker City, you have a chance of seeing some rain tomorrow with a temperature of 61. 7-day forecast looks like this. So some morning fog, afternoon sunshine, 68 for your high. Wednesday, we're up to 70. Thursday, 79. Friday, 80. Here's what's interesting about Saturday. We have a forecast temperature of 81, but the record for the day stands at 83 degrees for that day in October. So we're going to get really close to that as soon as we hit Saturday. We'll see if we actually get up to that mark. In the month of October, we can see temperatures in the 90s. It certainly happened before. Warmest temperature for the month of October is 92.
All right. Thanks, Natasha.
Yeah. Hey, tickets now on sale for Disney's The Lion King at Keller Auditorium. After 25 years on Broadway, The Lion King continues to be one of the most popular stage musicals in the world. Performances at Keller begin on Sunday, January 7th, and the show will wrap up January 28th.
Well, coming up, how floating solar panels could become a major power source for our entire planet. We'll show you. Well, we all know that water and electricity don't mix, but there's a growing green technology that's floating solar panels on the surface of lakes and seas.
A recent study shows that it could become a significant source of energy for the planet. Bradley Blackburn shows us where it's already making a difference.
In Sayreville, New Jersey, a green future is hiding in plain sight. When it was installed in 2019, this photovoltaic solar array was the largest in the country. But many residents still have no clue it's here.
It's a quiet, unobtrusive way for us to generate that power.
The town didn't want to cut down trees for a solar field.
Ultimately, this will be drinking water.
But this municipal reservoir was wide open.
They're not making any more land, so let's apply it where we have the open space.
The possibility arises of putting vast amounts of solar floating on calm tropical seas.
Andrew Blakers studies floating solar. He says it saves land for crops or other purposes, and there are plenty of viable bodies of water to theoretically power the entire planet. The global capacity of floating solar panel systems is projected to jump 7-fold by 2030. It's already used in places like Thailand. Even the U.S. Army is installing it on bases.
Solar really is the solution to climate change and will be far larger than everything else put together because its resource base is vastly larger than everything else put together.
And another benefit, in hot, dry climates, the coverage from these solar panels can reduce water evaporation from reservoirs.
In Sayreville, officials say they've found their floating system safe for the water and good for the environment. It also saves money by powering the water treatment plant, and they can sell extra energy to the grid.
This gives us a lot of other benefits, but the one I'm most concerned with is keeping the burden off the taxpayer.
An energy option floating to the top as the world searches for greener power. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Sayreville, New Jersey.
Now on Point 6 News at 5, an unprovoked attack leaves a Portland business owner badly hurt. His message to the community.
But that's not going to stop me from doing the right thing.
And the threats that have a middle school closed again, getting answers for parents in an issue that first emerged on Friday.
And the grim reality of Portland's fentanyl crisis. The response after a mass overdose in the heart of town.
Live, you're watching Coin 6 News at 5. Watching out for you.
A man known for trying to drive positive change in Portland's Central East Side in the hospital tonight. David Rinella, owner of Rinella Produce, was badly beaten when he tried to stop someone from stealing his car outside the business warehouse. Thanks for joining us at Coin 6 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Jenny Hansen in for Elizabeth Den.
I'm Jeff Gianola, and David Rinella runs a business his grandfather started actually back in 1914. Brandon Thompson speaking to Rinella today from his hospital bed. Brandon, he tells you this attack won't stop him?
Yeah, Rinella's clients and staff tell me that David is the first person to offer his food to somebody who needs it. And David tells me that he will keep doing that once he's healthy again. Now, David wants this to serve as a warning to other business owners to stay vigilant.
I tried to defend my property. It didn't work out too well.
David was sitting right here in his office when he noticed someone trying to break into his car parked right here just outside. He came out to confront the person, and that's when he was hit several times with a baseball bat.
This lady smashing her hand against my back window of my car. And, I didn't think she was actually going to break it, but she broke through.
David spoke to me on the phone from his hospital bed, not sure when he'll be able to go home. Staff showed me the surveillance video of the attack, video they did not want broadcast. It shows the woman hitting him several times, then two people on bikes come by, one waving a gun at David.
Then that policeman showed out of nowhere.
David thinks he could have been killed if police didn't drive by. He even tried going back to work after the attack before he called his wife to take him to the hospital.
I put myself in a bad position by trying to take on the world out there.
3 steps forward, 2.5 steps back,
The city launched a 90-day reset plan for the Central East Side, bringing graffiti and trash cleanup, more lighting, and increased patrols. The increased patrols, though, wound down after the 3-month period ended in May.
We've made some really good progress in a lot of ways. So when we see that progress and something like that happens, it's a little disconcerting and a little, frustrating.
Staff at Rinella's business and clients tell us David is the first to help people, giving away his food to someone who needs it.
Something that's inborn in you. You can't teach giving. You just can't teach it, And that's what we've been doing. And the same people that we donate to came by and knocked the crap out of me. But that's not going to stop me from doing the right thing.
So we reached out to the mayor's office about this. The mayor says he is troubled by this attack and believes it shows his position that there needs to be more officers in the community. Now, the woman that video shows attacking David, she was taken into custody. Now, staff tell me the person who waved a gun at David was taken into custody as well, though we have not been able to confirm that with Portland police at this time. Live in Southeast Portland, Brandon Thompson, KOIN 6 News.